The day I left my hometown for Chicago, I thought I was invincible. At 23, with a one-way ticket and 2 suitcases stuffed with dreams, I stepped off the train at Union Station, the wind howling like a warning. The city stretched before me, towering, indifferent, alive. I had no job, no friends, just a sublet in a neighborhood where the rent was suspiciously cheap. This is it, I told myself. This is where I become someone. The apartment was a shoebox with a view of a brick wall. My landlord, a man who spoke in grunts, handed me the keys and said, "Don't be loud." That was the extent of my welcome. I spent the first week wandering, wide-eyed, through streets that pulsed with energy. I applied to jobs, smiling through interviews, pretending I wasn't terrified. But rejection emails piled up like unpaid bills. My savings dwindled. The city, with its glittering skyline, didn't even notice I was drowning. Then came the night I got lost in the rain. My phone died. The streets twisted unfamiliar, the neon signs blurring through the downpour. A man followed me for 3 blocks before I ducked into a diner, shaking. The waitress, an older woman with tired eyes, slid me a coffee without asking. "You new here," she said. I nodded, too choked up to speak. She leaned in. "Rule number 1, Chicago will chew you up if you let it. Don't let it." I finally landed a job, a junior copywriter at a startup run by a guy named Derek who wore his arrogance like cologne. He smirked when he offered me the position, salary just above minimum wage. "Take it or leave it," he said. I took it. For months, I was the office ghost, overworked, overlooked. Derek took credit for my ideas, laughed when I spoke up in meetings. I told myself it was temporary. But then, at a company party, drunk on cheap wine, I overheard him bragging about how he collected desperate talent for pennies. Something in me snapped. The next Monday, I walked into the office with a resignation letter and a USB drive. On it? Every shady email Derek had ever sent, every cut corner, every lie. I didn't say a word. Just handed it to HR on my way out. 2 weeks later, Derek was fired. The company offered me his job. I turned it down. Freedom tasted sweet, until it didn't. With no job, no plan, I spiraled. The city that once felt like an adventure now felt like a cage. I missed my family. I missed knowing where the grocery store was without GPS. I missed not being afraid. One freezing December night, I found myself standing on the Michigan Avenue Bridge, watching the river swallow the city's reflection. A stranger next to me, an old man in a worn coat, lit a cigarette. "You look like you're thinking too hard," he said. I laughed bitterly. Just wondering if I made a mistake coming here. He took a drag, exhaled smoke into the icy air. "Kid, mistakes are just lessons with sharper teeth." I didn't find myself in Chicago. I didn't become some fearless, glamorous version of me. Instead, I learned this. Moving to a new city alone doesn't make you brave. Staying does. Bravery isn't the first step, it's the 1,000th. It's getting up after the rejections, the loneliness, the nights you cry into a pillow because no one knows you here. It's realizing that the city never owed you anything. That you were the one who had to earn it. A year later, I had a better job. Real friends. An apartment with a window that actually showed the sky. And that waitress? She still serves me coffee. Now, she calls me regular. Last month, a wide-eyed girl stopped me on the street. "Excuse me," she said, clutching a map. "Do you know how to get to Wicker Park?" I smiled. "Yeah," I said. "But first, let me tell you what not to do." Because that's the thing about survival. Once you learn it, you become the lesson for someone else. And suddenly, the city doesn't feel so big anymore.